world you are graduating into. This is what I want to talk about today with you for a few minutes. To lead in shaping a new world order for the 21st century.
You know, the Templars and the Freemasons believed that the treasure was too great for any one man to have, not even a king. That's why they went to such lengths to keep it hidden.
That's right. The Founding Fathers believed the same thing about government. I figure their solution will work for the treasure, too.
Give it to the people.
Divide it amongst the Smithsonian, the Louvre, the Cairo Museum. There's thousands of years of world history down there. And it belongs to the world, and everybody in it.
What is going on there?
That's a ring of my profession. You don't know nothing about that.
Okay, can we get a close-up on that area?
You don't know nothing about
What
it.
is the profession?
Yeah, which profession are we talking about?
Just look at it.
Is it a legal profession?
Of course it's legal. It's a ring of my profession.
I'm trying to read it. Okay.
It's too many diamonds.
Yeah, that's too bright. That's too bright.
Go anyway.
Oh, Mason, are you a Mason?
Of course I am.
Okay.
You have a secret ceremony?
Well, you might as well put your pinky out when you drink
Of
your drink.
course I am.
Put your pinky out.
Are you involved in the secret ceremonies with the candles and the...
Everyone wears...
Anyway, the Clippers. The Clippers.
Ring, but that is impressive, Mr. O'Neill.
I don't have a championship.
Anyway, so the Clippers...
Oh, yeah, I have four.
Two, exactly.
Those he doesn't wear.
Those he doesn't wear. The Clippers!
Yeah.
As I was blinded by success.
You prove to the entire world that you can set your mind to something important, push through and succeed, showing all of us that you, our next generation, already possess the strength and resilience of the American spirit.
Got a name?
Trump.
That fits. I bring you a message. A message of great importance. Without my help and knowledge, every one of you will be dead.
Sheriff, how long are you going to put up with this?
What do you mean?
How long are you going to let this con man walk around town?
Be careful, son. I can sue you.
How about it, Sheriff? When are you going to put the lid on?
What for?
Well, stealing is stealing, whether you do it with a gun or a mouthful of mealy words.
I don't intend to sit here and be insulted, Sheriff. If your people don't want my help, I can go elsewhere.
Wait a minute, Mr. Trump. You don't talk for the rest of us.
Since the sheriff wouldn't stop Trump, Hobie had to find somebody who would. Sheriff Chet Farrow was the gun law in Talpa, and Judge Clement was the book law.
You hear about Trump?
Yes, sir. What are you going to do about him?
What do you want me to do?
Stop him
From what?
from taking the town.
Can you prove that that's what he has in mind?
Well, it's obvious.
But can you prove it? In order to arrest him, the sheriff has to have a charge. And Trump hasn't given him a thing to go on.
Well, there's got to be some way to stop him.
Well, if there is, I don't know it. It's a funny thing.
Sir?
When we were kids, we were all afraid of the dark. And we grew up, and we weren't afraid anymore, but it's funny how a big lie can make us all kids again.
Hobie had checked the town. The people were ready to believe. Like sheep, they ran toward the slaughterhouse. And waiting for them was the high priest of fraud.
I am the only one. Just me. I can build a wall around your homes that nothing will penetrate.
What do we do? How do we save ourselves?
You ask, how do you build that wall? You ask, and I'm here to tell you.
You're a liar, Trump. Aren't you going to stay for the fireworks?
I've done all I can for Talpa.
Figure it's time for me to be moving on.
Well, I think you ought to wait.
It's where you and I disagree.
You're under arrest, Trump.
What charge?
Well, you write it any way you like. Grand theft, fraud, I think a jury will find it stealing.
And Shimon, describe the crowd as you can discern their mood and their actions. From our view, thousands of miles away, it looks like a relatively peaceful crowd.
Second black SUV. Yeah, it is it's been peaceful, Jake. You're right, absolutely right. Now the former president, Donald Trump, is inside the federal building where he will be placed under arrest, Jake.
We should just take a moment here. This is a historic day, and not in the good sense. This is the second time a former president, Donald John Trump, has been arrested and arraigned. The first time it's on federal charges.
This is something that they will be learning about in history books for a very, very long time, forever.
And the treasonable maggots who collaborate with them must, can, and will be wiped from the face of the earth. We must crush them. We must smash them. We must stamp them out. We, the people of Oceania, and our traditional allies, the people of Eurasia, will not rest until the final victory has been achieved. Death to the eternal enemy of Oceania. Death! Death! Death!
We don't need a messiah. All we need are decent, honest, hard-working people who are accountable and who have America's best interests at heart.
I am the chosen one.
Good. I want you to read it, please.
Okay, good. Please, you go ahead.
We love you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Please read it.
Okay.
Give thanks.
Give thanks to Hashem, for his work is good, his kindness endures forever. Presented to President Donald J. Trump for his extraordinary and heroic efforts, I like that very much, to help the state of Israel and the Jewish people. He and his family should be blessed eternally. From the Israel Heritage Foundation, July 10th, 2023. I want to thank you, Rabbi. That's
Very well done. And it says in small print, and you must win and be the president again.
You must win.
He is going to win.
Listen, let me put it this way. If we don't win, Israel's in big trouble. I really mean it.
You're going to win.
I mean it. Israel's in big trouble.
No,
if we don't win, Israel's in big trouble.
I'm going to vote blue. Vote for who you want. This is a free dictatorship.
I really mean it.
You're going to win.
I mean it. Israel's in big trouble.
No, you're going to win.
Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has shown us just how devastating a global cross-border threat can be. Climate change and biodiversity loss are no different. In fact, they pose an even greater existential threat, to the extent that we have to put ourselves on what might be called a warlike footing, to act with all dispatch and decisively, because time has quite literally run out. We also know that countries, many of whom are burdened by growing levels of debt, simply cannot afford to go green. Here we need a vast military-style campaign to marshal the strength of the global private sector, with trillions at its disposal, far beyond global GDP, and with the greatest respect, beyond even the governments of the world's leaders. It offers the only real prospect of achieving fundamental economic transition. Here we need a vast military-style campaign to marshal the strength of the global private sector, with trillions at its disposal.
In my video, The World's Richest Man Hoax, I wanted to illustrate the true wealth of the world's richest family using something very tangible. So in that video, I showed you Wadston, one of the world's most palatial and expensive homes ever built. And by 1957, the Rothschilds had amassed so much wealth that they bequeathed Wadston to the National Trust. Of course, the house remains under the watchful eye of the Rothschilds to this day, and as one viewer commented, they no longer have to pay any taxes on it because it is in the National Trust. But there's a much better way to calculate the unimaginable wealth of the Rothschilds, simply by using history. Now, we know one of the most astonishing stories of Rothschild wealth revolves around the Battle of Waterloo, in which Nathan Rothschild used his inside knowledge of the outcome and his faster horses and couriers to play the market by getting the results of the battle before anyone else knew the outcome. And I'm reading this article from darkpolitics.com. As many of you know, Nathan Rothschild caused a sell-off in bonds and gave all the traders who looked to him for guidance the impression that the French had won at Waterloo. The other traders also rushed to sell their bonds, causing a 95% decline in their original worth. And once the bottom had dropped out, Nathan Rothschild then rebought as many bonds back as he could at hugely discounted prices, and in doing so he multiplied his wealth 20 times in just 3 days of trading. Now, that history was shared in the 1934 Hollywood movie, The House of Rothschild, which was backed by the Rothschild family.
Buy. Yes, buy. Have you had any news? What do you think about this rumor? I don't listen to rumors, Mr. Baring. You hear what they say? Wellington defeated. You mind telling me what you're going to do? I have no objection to all London knowing what I'm going to do. I'm buying.
So that very important history is on the record. Now, in my last video, I calculated 8% interest as a compounding annual rate of return for the Rothschilds, given that the family not only can move markets, but manipulates and has been able to manipulate markets for decade after decade. An 8% return is very conservative. However, it's also tangible and quantifiable. You see, by buying up all of the bonds after the Battle of Waterloo, Nathan Rothschild became the single largest debtor to the English government, which ultimately gave him control over the Bank of England. English bonds were a debt guaranteed by future tax revenue of the English government. Therefore, the taxes the citizens paid were going to pay the 8% interest that the English government had to pay to borrow the money. So, the Battle of Waterloo occurred in 1815. So let's just round up the quote-unquote control of the Bank of England by the Rothschilds to 1817, since we're in the year 2017, giving us a nice round number of 200 years to work with. And we're going to do the math in just a second, but I want to give you something else that's very quantifiable. Instead of guessing what the net worth of the Rothschilds might have been around 1817, I found this article from the Days of Noah, the Rothschild family from 1800 to 1818, the plan to control the world. Now, fast forward through all the intrigue and the gold trading for kings to 1815, the year Nathan Mayer Rothschild made his famous statement, "I care not what puppet is placed upon the throne of England to rule the empire on which the sun never sets. The man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire, and I control the British money supply." Now, he would also go on to brag that in the 17 years he had been in England, he had increased the £20,000 stake given to him by his father 2,500 times to £50 million. Now remember, that's 1815. Let's just bump it up to 1817, and we'll keep the other four Rothschild brothers out of the conversation, each of whom were making separate fortunes of their own in different areas of the world. So let's go over to the compound interest calculator, and let's just assume for the sake of argument that Lord Rothschild was using puffery or braggery when he said he was worth 50 million, and let's just give him credit for 10 million, and see what happens with the magic of compound interest and that already locked in annual interest rate that they were guaranteed by the Bank of England of 8%. 10 million. Length of time in years you plan to save, well, I think the Rothschilds would probably sock that away for, say, 200 years. At an annual rate of interest of 8%, in 200 years you will have $48,389,495,849,000. That's really chump change to the Rothschilds. Why don't we take him at his word and check out what 50 million is worth over 200 years. Change that to a 5. That's 50 million. Invested over 200 years at an annual interest rate of 8%. In 200 years, they would have achieved $241 trillion in wealth. And of course, that doesn't account for any gold and silver market manipulation. It doesn't account for any of their other investments. And it certainly doesn't account for any additional wealth they were able to build when they implemented the central bank in the United States, the Federal Reserve, in 1913. This is just the money Lord Rothschild claimed that he was worth in 1815. And of course, we started this calculation in 1817 just to give us a nice round number of 200 years to work with.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Here at the United Nations, I have the great opportunity, and I'm very humbled, to share with you some of the words that my dear Rebbe wrote 32 years ago that is so relevant today. And the Rebbe writes about the power of the United Nations. All of you here have been given by God an opportunity to make a difference in the world. And the Rebbe taught us something very poignant, that indeed, when the world was repopulated after the flood with Noah, God gave 7 laws called the Noahite laws. This is the bedrock of any civilization that were to exist. So I ask every nation that's here, everyone that's listening, consider taking the 7 Noahite laws back to the basics and apply it to real daily life.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
The Al Smith dinner, big political tradition every election year. Supposed to be lighthearted. Everybody's supposed to loosen up. But last night, a little bit different. You see Cardinal Dolan there. He was between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. He called it the iciest place on the planet.
Can you imagine the level of discomfort? And just for the record, sitting between the two of you, I don't feel uncomfortable at all this morning. Okay, I just wanted to let you know.
We both have very warm hearts.
You do, and
really
handshakes will happen later. But both candidates getting some laughs. It was a tough crowd. I don't think either got the memo that tonight they were supposed to be friends. That was the explicit memo given to everybody.
Yeah, and the crowd was tough, and they were expressive too. Take a look at this moment that a lot of people are talking about this morning. Watch how the crowd reacts when Donald Trump calls Hillary Clinton corrupt. I have a feeling this guy's going to be on memes for quite a while.
We're going to see that for a long time. So we have a lot coming up. Just 18 days to the final votes. ABC's Cecilia Vega starts us off from the battleground state of Ohio. Hillary Clinton's going to be there in Cleveland today. Good morning, Cecilia.
Wait, was there a memo that they're supposed to be friends? They definitely didn't get it. These two candidates just 24 hours after that heated debate, this time in the same room, not just that, seated at the same table. Can we say awkward?
Nope. Right out of the gate, no handshake here. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in the same room once again. This time, a New York charity dinner. The only thing separating them, a man of God.
Welcome back. Do you ever wonder if someone is lying to you? Well, there are some things that you can look for to find the truth.
And we brought in a polygraph examiner to put 5 people to the test and show you how to be a human lie detector.
Did you ever steal anything valued at more than $10, $25?
No.
Are you basically a dishonest person?
Basically a dishonest person?
This polygraph examiner and retired FBI agent doesn't need a machine to pinpoint a liar.
The eyes are a window to the soul. You can see right through them.
What do they expect from me? That's a good question.
Take a close look at this guy's eyes. Before Jason answers, he looks up to the right.
Looking up in the right means you're making up something. You're visually picturing something that's never happened, you know. That's a lie.
Up to the left, you're remembering something. Only problem, it's the opposite for lefties, like Jason, so he's telling the truth. Shifty eyes could also indicate dishonesty.
The moment they complete that lie, they look right back at me because they're trying to see whether I'm buying what they're selling.
Bill Brown says all of the people we interviewed are basically honest. Look at how comfortably they sit in their chair. Liars may rub their neck, tap their fingers, look at their watch, all signs of nervousness.
Or they'll position something between you and them, even if it's only a book or a coffee cup. When you see something like it, why is that? It's just getting a barrier or something between you and me.
Someone telling a fib may lean back in their chair, sit to the side, and keep their arms crossed and hands tightly folded in their lap.
Did you ever put any false information on any form?
On any form? No.
What about people who try to change the conversation?
It makes almost everybody a little bit uncomfortable lie. So if they can say something else in a tangential way and get you to accept that, then they don't have to lie.
And really listen to what they're saying and how they say it.
If all the time you've been talking to them, they've been speaking in one voice, and then all at once they speak in this voice, pretty good indication.
Pretty insightful, and Bill says liars will most likely do a combo of those things, so you have to look out for that. But there's also some things that they just cannot control at all, affected by the autonomic nervous system.
You know, I don't know. You know,
I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know where to look. Yeah.
Yeah, great to see you.
And he can't put it aside because, you know, he's retired FBI and he's been doing it for so many years. Every time he talks to people, he's looking at that to see if they're being honest.
Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me."
An election year tradition, time for the candidates to poke fun at themselves and each other. No one was off limits.
Michelle Obama gives a speech, and everyone loves it. It's fantastic. They think she's absolutely great. My wife, Melania, gives the exact same speech.
Barack and I were raised with so many of the same values. Like, you work hard for what you want in life, that your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
My parents impressed on me the values that you work hard for what you want in life, that your word is your bond, and you do what you say and keep your promise.
That you treat people with dignity and respect, even if you don't know them and even if you don't agree with them.
That you treat people with respect. They taught and showed me values and morals in their daily life. That is a lesson that I continue to pass along to our son. And we need to pass those lessons on to the many generations to follow.
And Barack and I set out to build lives guided by these values and to pass them on to the next generation, because we want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
Miss Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I'm so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
No, Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Because we want our children in this nation to know that the only limit to your achievements is the strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
President Obama calling it dangerous.
That is not a joking matter.
All right, let's just go back to that dinner. Awkward really doesn't even begin to describe it. It was downright cringeworthy at times. It was hilarious at others. But guys, I gotta say, it gets at what I've heard from so many voters over the course of this election all around this country. If you're not laughing right now, you might be crying. So better to laugh with 18 days to go, Paula.
You know, Cecilia, that was a tough crowd, but I think it's safe to say that neither is prepared to be comedian-in-chief. Baby commander, but not comedian-in-chief. All right, great job.
Footage has emerged of the former Vice President Creepy F. Biden with young children and with the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. We just want to play these clips and want to warn you that what you're about to see is very disturbing. Now, obviously, the behavior that you're seeing here fits the profile of a...
Mr. Richards, I'm your court-appointed theatrical agent. It's time.
That's the ticket. No pain, no gain.
Let's go! Now listen to me, because I'm only gonna say this once. This is all a lie. I was framed. I'm completely innocent.
Yeah, sure.
Now be quiet and stay still. I'm out of here in 5 minutes. I'm out of here in 5 minutes.
I'm out of here in 5 minutes.
Hi, this is Amber.
Chico! Come back! The deadline's still up! He's not gonna make it. Chico! Must be the walls in here. Must be the walls in here.
Must be the walls in here.
Blocking the signal. Must be the walls in here. Blocking the signal. It's not happening.
Then we try it outside. Move!
People like you took this country, turned it into a jail.
Well, there's your ride. It's all set.
It's all set.
But it was with the confidence of my fellow citizens that I took an oath. 35 simple words that have been repeated by every American president throughout history.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by the... So you know the thing. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
It's all set.
Nothing like first class.
Hey, come in. Señorita, do you want to come in? Yeah, hey, you too, yeah.
I guess this is it. Now you guys stay out of the national database, okay? And you, Laughlin, stop trying to teach the Constitution to the street punks. See you guys at the 10-year prison reunion.
You can still join us if you want.
No, thank you. My brother is gonna get me out of the city. Plus, I'm not into politics. I'm into survival.
Will it do you any good? You know, you won't be able to leave the squad. You don't have a travel pass.
You do. Okay,
Number 8, we will finally complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. For years, Congress has required biometric entry-exit visa tracking systems, but it has never been completed. The politicians are all talk, no action, never happens, never happens.
Nowadays, French is the same thing.
Laughlin, save it for the written test. Good luck.
Yeah, for all of us.
Now I do. Let's see. Now where should we go? Maybe someplace warm. I need to work on my tan anyway. You get so pale in prison. There you are. Good. Now I'm going to untie you.
Come on now!
you might have done a little stalking yourself.
Richard's hostage, Amber Mendez, was unharmed. Some airport personnel were not so lucky.
Our star runner tonight needs no introduction. He's Ben Richards, the brutal slayer of 60 men, women, and children.
Like the ticket agent and security guard, Richard shot at point-blank range when he arrived at the airport.
The Bakersfield Massacre.
Food riot in progress. Approximately 1,500 civilians.
Abort attack. Acknowledge Yankee 99er.
The hell with you.
Lieutenant Sanders, take command. Detain Richards and return to base.
That's not true. They were taken to Cadre Memorial Hospital, where they remain in guarded condition. And now, back to climbing for dollars.
There are innocent, unarmed people down there. Cease fire! Cease fire!
Credit line and a front condo. Sound impossible? Ben is a standard deal for a network stalker. Huh? I know a stalker died. Well, it had to happen sooner or later.
Memory storage. You know, the damn thing worked like a charm.
Obviously, nobody out there would take liberties with other people's children like creepy Joe Biden does. And there's just tons of footage of him out there touching children inappropriately, caressing them, massaging them, basically grooming them, and making them feel basically awkward in their own skin.
Hillary Clinton, all talk. Unfortunately, when there is action, it's always the wrong decision. Do you ever notice? In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system.
This is television, that's all it is. It's nothing to do with people. For 50 years, we've told them what to eat, what to drink, what to wear. Americans love television. They wean their kids on it. Listen, they love game shows. They love wrestling. They love sports, violence. So what do? We give them what they want. We're number one, Ben. That's all that counts. Believe me, I've been in the business 30 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Donald Trump Museum, dedicated to America's #1 citizen and America's greatest living folk hero, the one and only Donald Trump. Learn the amazing history of the Trump family.
Somebody criticized me the other day because they asked me what I do, and I said, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care.
Friends, and I guess I have some very good enemies, and I like it that way somehow. And I really believe in trashing your enemies.
Inside, you will learn how Donald Trump's father left him a large inheritance.
Nobody's going to do more women than Donald Trump. That I can tell you. That I can tell you. And I think they know it.
Discover how in 2016 Donald Trump successfully lobbied to legalize gambling.
Part of the beauty of me is that I'm very rich.
He wants to run for president and move on into the White House. Why not?
Share in the stupidity of the average American as they made him the 45th president of the United States.
That will easily go down as the greatest president in the history of the United States. Me, Donald John Trump.
No! Hey, no! Hey, wait, you come with us upstairs? There you go, Sonny. We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
For this cause, God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another. Men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient.
You see, I take these glasses off, she looks like a regular person, doesn't she, huh? Put them back on, formaldehyde face.
Old Man River, that old man river.
You know, you look like your head fell on the cheese dip back in 1957.
The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
Drag Queen Story Hour.
This one is called Worm Loves Worm.
Talking, singing, and reading.
We can both be grooms.
To an audience of preschoolers, toddlers, and their caregivers.
The hips on the drag queen go swish, 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 swish. I'm a girl.
Stop. Let me out. Let me out. I want to... Look at them. They're everywhere. Now, hold on. You ain't the first son of a bitch to wake up out of their dream.
The day my water broke, I was recording Jessica Rabbit.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible. You know what you need? You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
I've got one that can see.
Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? I was... Look again.
I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators, yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for then must ye needs go out of the world. But now I have written unto you not to keep company if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner. With such an one, know not to eat. For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do not ye judge them that are within? But them that are without, God judgeth. Therefore put away from among yourselves that wicked person.
The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite. You have given us entree to the resources we need in our ongoing quest for multidimensional expansion.
You still don't get it, do you, boys? There ain't no countries anymore. No more good guys. They're running the whole show. They own everything.
He's a tall, Caucasian male. Doesn't appear armed, wearing sunglasses.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Are you there?
What are you doing with the rest of your life?
Catching up on some me time, find God.
My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. Bless his name. My soul, it loves Jesus. Oh, yes it does. Oh, yes it does. Oh, yeah, my soul. My soul. Over in the midnight hour, my soul. He speaks to my soul. Tells me everything is gonna be alright. My soul. It loves Jesus. I'm so glad my soul loves Jesus. Bless his name.